All right, good day, people. Group A, B, C, D, and E. Happy Monday. Yes, there is another lesson. Today we're doing dividing measurements. A lot of it is pretty similar to what we did with that prior assignment, multiplying. So if you had any challenges working out multiplying, this connects because the division problem just simply turns to a multiplication problem. So we're following a lot of the same steps. So as you see, step 1, convert feet to inches when necessary. And I'll let you know when it's necessary just in multiplying. And we do that by multiplying by 12. 2, convert mixed numbers. Convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. Convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. How do we do that? We take the whole number, multiply by the denominator, add the numerator. Denominator stays the same. Example. Let's say you had 3 3/4. Take the whole number, 3 times 4, multiply by the denominator. 3 times 4 is 12. Take the whole number, multiply by the denominator, add the 3. 12 plus 3 is 15. Denominator stays the same. So that's my improper fraction. Again, convert mixed numbers to improper fraction. Number 3, convert whole numbers to improper fractions when necessary, and we do that just simply by putting it over 1, just like in multiplying. Number 5, let's go back to number 3. If you have a whole number of inches, you just put it over 1, but you have to convert that whole number of feet to inches when necessary. And we have to convert the feet to inches. Say you have 1 foot, you got to take that 1 foot, convert it to 12 inches, and put it over 1. Number 4, we rewrite the first numeric expression. And then we reciprocate. We rewrite the first numeric expression. Then it turns to I was talking while I was doing this, y'all. It turns to a multiplication problem. And then we reciprocate or flip the second numeric expression. Can you see all this? Alright, so number 5, turn to a multiplication problem, then you flip or reciprocate that second numeric expression. Once you flip it, all you're doing is following the steps that you were doing when we were doing multiplying measurements. So step 6, you cross reduce if you can. If you cannot, you multiply the numerator times the numerator, denominator times denominator, and then you always reduce the final answer. So make sure you have your notes in front of you when you're working out this assignment. Take your time. You really have to pay attention to some key things. The measurement divided by a measurement equals a number. And then a measurement divided by a number, or a number divided by a measurement, both of these equal a measurement. So you really have to pay attention to that. So write those things down before you actually doing that homework assignment. Again, a measurement divided by a measurement is going to be a number. So anytime you have 2 measurements in a division problem, drop those measurements and work it out. That way your final answer will equal a number. You should not have a measurement on there. And then anytime it's a measurement divided by a number or a number divided by a measurement, your final answer will consist of a measurement. So take note of this, screenshot it before you start that homework assignment, and on to this lesson. Again, dividing measurements. Okay, so we're going to work out the first 4 problems. Just like the notes say before the video actually starts, you really have to pay attention whether it's 2 measurements or a measurement and a number, or a number and a measurement. A measurement divided by a measurement is a number. So anytime you have both numbers on either side of the division problem, your final answer is going to be a number. All right, so let's look at the first problem. We got 2 feet, 1 inch divided by 3/4 inch. A lot of this is the same processing as multiplying, except we have one thing that we're doing different, and that's reciprocating, which means flip that second numeric expression. So we're going to work it out the same way, other than the fact that we have to reciprocate the second numeric expression in division. First thing we got is 2 feet 1 inches. First thing we have to do is convert feet to inches by multiplying by 12, which gives us 24 inches that we have to add to 1 inch we already have. So we got 25 inches. How do we convert whole numbers to improper fractions? Put it over 1. Because there's a fraction involved, this has to be a fraction, so we turn whole numbers to improper fractions by putting it over 1. So we got 25 over 1. That 3/4, we don't have to do anything with it. And because it's not a mixed number, all I can do is just take this and reciprocate it right now instead of rewriting it. So I got the unit of feet in inches, converted it to a number of inches and put it over 1 because I had turned to an improper fraction, times reciprocate, flip that second numeric expression. You always reciprocate the second numeric expression. If you don't, your answer is going to be wrong. So, next step, because now we have a multiplication problem, we cross-reduce if we can. Can we cross-reduce 3 and 25?
No.
Can we cross-reduce 1 and 4?
No.
So because we can't cross-reduce, now just like in multiplying, we multiply the numerator times the numerator and the denominator times the denominator. 25 times 4 is?
100.
100 over denominator? 3. Do I need my measurements?
Yeah.
No. I'm going to drop them. Again, a measurement divided by a measurement is a number. We never multiply a measurement times a measurement. This turns to a multiplication problem. So the measurements fall off anytime we're dividing 2 measurements. So now we have this number, 100 over 3, which is what type of fraction? Improper fractions we have to turn to mixed numbers or whole numbers. I know it's not going to be a whole number, so we do that by, I'm going to rewrite it here, asking ourselves how many times can 3 go into 100? 3 goes into 10, 3 times, 3 goes into 10, 3 times, and we have 1 left over. So improper fractions turn a mixed number. Here's my whole number here. So we got 33 and follow the circle of life, 1/3. We don't need inch marks because a measurement divided by a measurement is a number. So that 33 and 1/3 would be our final answer. If you want to double check your answer, take the denominator, multiply by that whole number. 33 times 3 is 99 plus that numerator. There's my 100 over 3. All right, again, anytime you're dividing a measurement by a measurement, your final answer is going to be a number. So let's look at number 2. 3 feet 2 inches divided by 3/7. Because there's a fraction on the right side of that division problem, that means we have to do what with this unit of measure to the left?
Convert it to inches.
Convert it to inches, and we need to do what with this?
Make it improper.
Yep, make it into an improper fraction. So times 12. 12 times 3 is?
36.
We take that 36 inches and we add it to the 2 inches we already have. So now we have 38. And because we have 2 measurements, I'm not going to carry on with the measurements because I don't want to make a mistake. I'm going to get rid of them. A measurement divided by a measurement is a number. So how do we turn whole numbers to improper fractions? Put it over 1. So now we have 38 over 1. This fraction. We don't have to deal with feet. It's not a mixed number. We simply have a fraction. So we take this fraction, and what do we have to do with it before we go to the next step?
Reciprocate.
Reciprocate, which means just flip it.
7 to 3.
Yep, so anytime you're dividing, before you start cross-reducing or multiplying, you have to reciprocate that second numeric expression. Otherwise, your answer will be wrong. So now, we have 38 over 1 times 7 over 3. Can we cross-reduce? So what about this 1/7? Nope. So now we multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So now we have 38 times 7.
266.
Denominator,
3.
3. Inch marks, yes, no? No,
No.
because they already fell off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now what? We need to find out how many times, I'm going to rewrite it here.
Go on to 266.
Yep, we want to know how many times can 3 go into 266. 3 can't go into 2, but it can go into 26 how many times?
8.
Yep, 8 times, so I need to subtract 24. So 26 minus 24 leaves me with 2.
6.
Yep, drop that 6 because 3 can't go into 2. So 3 goes into 26, you said.
Mm-hmm.
8 times minus 24 leaves me with 2. So this improper fraction is going to turn into a mixed number. I know because there's something left over. This 2 represents what?
Numerator.
The numerator. Yep, the denominator would be
3.
2/3. Can you reduce that fraction?
No.
Nope. And what about, let's get rid of that because again, no measurement. So this 88 represents my
Oh.
whole number, and that would be my final answer
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a unit of measure. It's not a measurement. So looking at this 88, now if we had inch marks here, we would have to convert this 88 inches into feet and inches, but because it's just a number, we leave it alone. Same thing with this 33 1/3. If he was like, well, how come we didn't convert that to feet and inches? Because it's not inches. It's just a number. Again, a measurement divided by a measurement is just going to give you a number. Let's look at number 3. Now we have 3 inches divided by 2 5/8 inches. Another thing about dividing, you have to have the same unit of measurements on both sides if there's measurements involved before the measurements fall off.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So number 3, we have 3 inches divided by 2 5/8 inches. What do we need to do with the 3?
Convert it to inch.
What do we do with 3?
I mean to go.
You see the whole board? All right. So the next 4 problems on the board. We're still dealing with a measurement divided by a measurement. Again, anytime you have a measurement divided by a measurement, the measurements have to be the same before the measurements fall off. So let's look at number 5. We got 3/4 inches divided by 1 3/5 inches. So what's the first thing we need to do? What do we need to do with this 3/4?
Reciprocate.
No.
No.
We rewrite that first numeric expression.
Yeah.
Get off your phone.
No inches.
We don't need the inches. All right, so now we have a mixed number. What do we do with mixed numbers?
We 1 times 5.
Yep, so we turn them into improper fractions. So 1 times 5 is 5 plus 3 is
8.
So now we got 8 over, 5. You said no inch marks, correct.
Yeah.
So now the next step, we rewrite that first numeric expression, 3/4, turn it to a multiplication problem, and then we
Reciprocate.
reciprocate, flip that second numeric expression. So now we have 5 over 8. Can we cross reduce? Get off the phone, please.
No.
We can't cross reduce. Cell phone. You gotta pay attention. All right, got you. All right, so we can't cross reduce. No number can go on to 4 and 5 evenly, or 3 and 8. So now we multiply the numerator times the numerator. 3 times 5 is,
15.
and then we multiply denominator times denominator. 8 times 4 is.
32.
Always ask, can you reduce? Can you reduce 15, 30 seconds? No? Nope. All right, well, do we need inch marks?
No.
Nope.
Final answer.
That's your final answer, 15, 30 seconds. All right. Let's look at number 6. We got 1 1/2 inches That's a mixed number, again, which consists of a whole number of inches and a fraction divided by 2 feet 3/4 inches. What's the first thing we need to do? We got that mixed number. What do we do with it?
1 times 2
Mm-hmm.
plus 3. Plus 1.
So we got
3. 3 over. The numerator stays, denominator stays the same.
Yep. Divided by, we got 2 feet 3/4 inches.
2 times 4 is 8.
Pardon me? 2 feet. What do we do with feet?
Turn them inches.
Feet become inches.
So that's 24
So what do we do with that 24 inches?
times 4.
Yep. So what I'm going to do is, you're correct, but I want to write it so they can see it. That 24 becomes part of that fraction. Now we have a mixed number. So that 24 transferred over is 20. That 2 feet transferred over is 24 inches. So now we have 24 3/4 inches. So now you're telling me I need to take this mixed number 200 into an improper fraction. But first thing, what do I do with this 3/2? 3 over 2. Rewrite the first numeric expression. Mixed number we need to turn to an improper fraction. How?
24 times 4.
24 times 4 is?
96. Plus 3.
What do we do with that 99?
And the same thing over 4.
Yep, keep that denominator the same. Please don't make that mistake when you're dealing with mixed numbers. Turn them into improper fractions. So now we want to see if we can cross reduce. Can we?
No.
Nope. That sucks, doesn't it? Because guess what we got to do? We can't cross reduce the 3/4. We can't cross reduce this 299. So now we need to multiply numerator times numerator. And I like to do math like this. Let's take this 9. We know that 9 times 3 is what? Use that brain. 9 times 3 is 27. So the back end, I know I got a 7, right? 9 times 3 is? 27 plus 2 is? 29. We got 297 over
8.
What type of fraction?
Improper.
What do we need to do with that improper fraction?
Turn it to a mix.
Yep. So we ask ourselves, I'm going to write it down here. How many times can 8, Ling, go into 297? 8 can't go into 2, but it can go into 29 how many times?
37.
You a nerd. 3 times. So we subtract 24, which leaves us with 5. If we drop that 7, because 8 can't go into 5, 8 goes into 57 7 times, because we have to subtract 56 from that. Whew, getting low.
Yeah.
We subtract 56 from that, we're left with 1.
37. 1.
Alright. Yep, so there's my whole number. And leftover denominator. So you're telling me my answer is 37 and 1/8 what?
Nothing.
Correct. No inch marks because a measurement divided by a measurement is a number. If it was inch marks, that 37 would become 3 feet 1 and 1/8 inches, but we are not dealing with measurements right now. Good job. All right, so let's look at number 7. So we got 3 feet. 3 feet divided by 5 2/3, right? Inches. So again, anytime we're dividing, the measurements have to be the same before we drop the measurements, right? So what do we need to do with this 3 feet?
3 divided by 12. 3 times 12.
Yeah. So 3 times 12 is? Yep, 36. Now we got our 36 inches. What do we do with whole numbers? Fraction involved, so it needs to be a fraction here. Yep, so we put it over 1. Mixed numbers turn to?
5
Woo!
improper. 5 times 3
is
18.
plus
2
is
17.
over
3.
bam. All right, next step. We got two fractions. So now we,
Cross reduce.
not yet. Don't forget, you always have to turn into a multiplication problem before you cross reduce. So we rewrite history. Rewrite the first numeric expression. Now we turn it into a multiplication problem.
Put 3.
We
over
don't need the
17.
inch mark, so I'm going to drop them. So now we flip it. 3 over 17. So can we cross reduce?
No. 1 to 3. No.
17 to 36?
17, 36. Maybe.
Maybe not.
No.
So now we multiply numerator times the numerator.
36 times 3.
36 times 3 is
108. 1 times 17. 17.
what type of fraction?
Improper.
We have to do what with it?
No.
Leave it like that? Y'all pay attention to him, your answer is going to be wrong. Absolutely. So, improper fractions turn and mix the whole
Mix the
numbers.
numbers,
Never
yeah.
leave a final answer as an improper fraction.
Okay.
So we need to find out how many 17s,
Can go into 108.
yep, can we get out of that 108. And I'm going to try and do it here. We know that 17 can't go into 10. How many times can 17 go into 108?
6.
6 times. And 6 times 17 we have to subtract.
2. 4 left. Oh, I mean, with 6 left. So that's 6. 6, 17.
Okay, so there's my whole number. And
6, 17.
denominator. Always ask, can you reduce?
No.
No. And that's your final answer. 6 and 6/17 is just a number. Let's look at number 8. Let's see how we're going to work our way through this little bit of space. We got 4 feet and 3/4 inches. We know a measurement divided by a measurement is going to equal a number. However, before we drop the measurements have to be the same.
Same.
So we at 4 feet. We convert feet to
Inch.
when necessary, and it's so necessary. Like Jay-Z, right? So 12 times 4 is, hello? 12 times 4 is 48. We got 48 inches. What do we do with that 48? Whole numbers turn to, bam.
Improper.
So now we have the measurements are the same. And because we know that the measurements are the same, I don't have to rewrite that 3/4, but what I can do is what?
And
Yep,
reciprocate.
reciprocate it. So I'm going to put my 4/3 right there. We got the same measurements. Can we cross reduce?
No. What do you?
Oh,
What do you?
yep. Yep. So 3 goes into itself 1 time. 3 goes into 48
16.
16 times. They made them numbers a lot smaller. Alright, so we can't cross reduce anymore. So 16 times 4 is,
64.
and then 1 times 1.
1.
Anytime we have 1 as a denominator, thank you. Anytime we have 1 as the denominator, the answer is always going to be what?
The numerator.
Whatever that numerator is, and let's work it out. So 1 goes into 64.
64 times.
Absolutely, 1 goes into 6 times. 1 goes into 4 times. So we got 64. No inch marks because again, a measurement divided by a measurement is a number, and that is our final answer. Alright, so again, when you're dealing with dividing measurements, the measurements have to be the same before the measurements fall off. Capiche? No. Thank you, dear. Alright, we got an 8 piece on the board. So number 9. Now we're dealing with whole numbers. And I'm going to show you all the shortcut. I'm not going to show you anything other than that because I want you to be able to get right to the point without overthinking it. So we have 12 feet divided by 3 inches. Again, anytime you're dividing and you have a measurement divided by a measurement, the measurements have to be the same before the measurements fall off. So we have 12 feet divided by 3 inches. What do I need to do with this 12 feet?
Convert it.
Convert it to what?
A mix.
Wrong. We need to, the measurements have to be the same. So because there's inches involved, we can't take 3 inches and make it into feet, right? So we got to take these 12 inches, I mean these 12 feet, and convert it to inches. So 12 times 12 is 144 inches. Thank you, Ling Ling. Divided by 3 inches. All right, so now we have 144 inches divided by 3 inches. So now that the measurements are the same, guess what we do with them? Drop them. We get rid of it, right? And once we get rid of them, we look at it as a division problem. You don't have to do nothing extra. So all this is saying is we have 144 divided by 3. How many times can 3 go on 144? 3 goes into 14 how many times?
2, 3 is next with 3. 3.
So if we subtract 12 from 14,
Lead 2.
well, it leaves us with 2. Can 3 go on a 2?
No.
No, we cannot. So we have to drop that 4. 3 can go on a 24 how many times? 8 times, like this 8 piece we got on the board. So I carry my 8 up here. 8 times 3, I subtract 24 from there. It leaves me with nothing. So my final answer is
48.
48. Nothing left over. Again, a measurement divided by a measurement is a number. My final answer is 48. If you want to double check that, 48 times 3 will take you right back where we started off. All right? So again, measurements have to be the same before they fall off. Number 2, we have 9 feet divided by 2 feet. 9 feet divided by 2 feet. Measurement divided by a measurement is a what?
Regular number.
A number. So guess what? Because the measurements are the same, we just drop it. All this saying is what's 9 divided by 2. That's all I'm saying. 2 goes into 9 how many times?
3.
Yep. 2 goes into 9 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. We take 8 from 9, no more. And it leaves us with 1. So my final answer for this one would be what?
4.
My 4 is right here. That's my whole number.
1.
We got 4.
And 1.
That's my final answer. We got this 9 divided by 2. Look at it like this.
Yeah,
All right. So final answer is
4.5.
4.5. 9 divided by 2. Measurements were the same, so we dropped them off. Let's look at 11. 20 feet divided by 5 feet. What do we need to do?
Convert that feet.
Do we need to convert feet to inches?
No.
No. We don't need to convert it to any improper fractions or anything. Anytime you got whole numbers across the board, let's just get straight to the point. It's a division problem. But first, before we just work it out as a division problem, the units of measure have to be the same. The units of measure are the same. We got feet and feet. So we just looking at this as if we have 20 divided by 5. How many times can 5 go into 20?
4.
4 times. Final answer would be?
4.
Final answer is 4. All right, just flat out 4. Not 4 inches, not 4 feet, 4. A measurement divided by a measurement is a number. Number 12, we have 7 feet divided by 2 feet. What do we need to do? Do we need to convert inches to feet?
No.
Feet to inches?
No.
No. So all this is telling us, measurements fall off, because the measurements are the same, is 7 divided by 2. 2 goes into 7.
3,
We subtract 6 from there, we're left with,
1.
so our final answer would be,
I think it's 3. And 1/2.
yep, look at it like that. 3 and 1/2. Inch marks?
No.
No. Final answer. 3.5 is just a number. Number 13. We got 6 feet divided by 9 inches. What do we need to do?
6 feet divided by 9 inches. No. Well, yeah. Because inches.
So what do we do?
Convert feet to inches.
Feet to inches. By multiplying by 12. 12 times 6 is?
Put it times 72. About 9 inches.
Now the measurements are the same. Again, measurements are the same. Whole numbers across the board. No fractions involved. That means we just turn it to a division problem. 72
72
divided by 9. 9 goes into 72 how many times?
8.
8 times 9. We need to subtract that from there, which leaves us with,
0.
and our final answer is
8.
8 what?
Since it's measurement 8.
Just 8.
Yeah.
Measurement divided by measurement is a number.
No.
Alright. Gosh. Let's look at number 14. We got 5 feet divided by 7 inches. Anytime we're dividing, measurements have to be what?
The same.
Same. Are they the same?
No.
How do we make them the same?
Convert feet to inches.
Convert feet to inches. 5 times 12 is?
30. 62.
Okay, so now we have 60 inches divided by 70 inches. Measurements are the same. Now what do we do?
Just regular division.
Regular division. How many times can 7 go into 60? So 60 divided by 7 is?
8.
Which leaves us with,
4.
and my final answer would be
8.
8, whole number, 4
7.
sevens. Not inches again because it's just a number.
This is the number.
Good job. Number 15, we got 2 feet, 3 inches divided by 9 inches. Measurements have to be the same, so what do I do?
Convert feet.
Absolutely. You have to convert the feet to inches. Everything has to be inches from one side to the other. So 2 times 12 is?
24.
What do we do with that 24?
Added with 3.
Yep. So now we have
27.
27 inches divided by 9 inches. Now what?
That's 3.
Yep, so it's just a division problem. We want to know how many times 9 can go in at 27. It goes in there 3 times.
That's it.
And 3 is the final answer.
Mm-hmm.
And number 16, we got 7 feet divided by 2 foot 1 inches. What do we need to do?
Convert the feet to inches.
7 times 12 is?
84.
So we got 84 inches here. What do we need to do on the other side?
Feet to inches.
Feet to inches, yep. So 2 times 12,
24.
we got 24. What do we do with that 24 inches?
Add 1. 25 inches.
Yep, add the 1 inch we already have. So, measurements are the same. 84 inches divided by 25 inches. So now what?
84 inches divided by 25.
We divide that by 84. How many times in 25 going to 84?
3.
If we take 3 and subtract 75 from there, we're left with 9. So my answer would be
3, 9, 25.
Yep, 3 and 9/25. Can you reduce that?
No. Final answer.
No inch marks. Final answer. Good job. Alright, so for these next four, 17 through 20, we will be working out a measurement divided by a number. So a measurement divided by a number will give you a measurement. Or a number divided by a measurement will give you a measurement. So you really got to be paying attention when it comes to these measurements. So if you have 2 units of measure, when you're dividing, your final answer will be a number. But if you got a measurement divided by a number, or a number divided by a measurement, your final answer will be a measurement.
I missed it.
Stop giving them the wrong answers.
Yeah.
So everything that we work out from this day forward, from this point forward, will be a measurement. So you really got to pay attention to that. This is what trips people up. It can be a little tricky. All I do is pay attention. So the measurement will be on the left or the right of that division sign. Doesn't matter. You'll still have a unit of measure. So let's start working out the first one. It's the same thing. The way we worked this out when we were multiplying, a lot of the same steps, except because it's division, we reciprocate, right? That second numeric expression when we need to. And what I mean by when we need to is because we were just dealing with whole numbers, and we did not need to because we didn't have fractions. I showed y'all how to do a shortcut. So the only difference is we reciprocate that second numeric expression, but we've already done this in the beginning. So we got 2 mixed numbers. A mixed number consists of a whole number of inches and a fraction, right? So we got 2 mixed numbers. But first thing we need to do, because there's fractions involved, is do what?
2 times 4.
Yep, turn a mixed number to an improper fraction. So 2 times 4 is?
8. Plus 1. 9.
What do we do with that 9?
Over 4.
Over 4, not over 1. Divided by
2 times 2.
4 plus 1 is
5.
over
2.
2. Inch marks lie, a measurement lie on that second numeric expression. Next step, we rewrite that first numeric expression.
9.
It turns to a multiplication problem. And then what do we do with that second numeric expression? Reciprocate it. We flip it. So now we got 2 over 5. And my inch marks again. Let's keep them moving. And now we cross reduce. Can we cross reduce?
No.
5 and 9 we know we can't, but 2 and 4 we can.
Maybe 2.
So 2 becomes 1. 4 becomes
2.
2. Can't cross reduce anymore, so 9 times 1 is
9.
9, and 2 times 5 is
10.
10. We got 9 over 10. Can we reduce that?
No.
Final answer?
19 of an inch.
Absolutely. Don't forget those inch marks. And that's your final answer. Don't forget the inch marks. Alright? Let's look at number 18. We got 2 mixed numbers. Again, mixed number consists of a whole number of inches and a fraction. 3 1/4. What do we do with it?
3 times 4.
3 times 4 is
20.
12 plus 1 is
13.
13.
Over 4.
Yep. Inch marks.
Times.
Divided by, let's deal with that mixed number first. 5 times 3 is
15.
plus 1.
16.
What do we do with that 16?
3.
Put it over 3. Next step.
Reciprocate.
Not, yeah, we do. But we rewrite the first numeric expression,
18. 4.
turn it to a multiplication problem, then we reciprocate.
3, 16.
And then we ask ourselves, can we cross reduce? Can we?
No.
No. So now we multiply, numerator times numerator. 13 times 3 is
39.
39. What about the denominator? 16 times 4 is?
8. 68. 64.
6 times 4 is 24. Right? Alright, so all of them wrong answers in that camera.
Yeah.
So now we got 39 over 64.
They better get it right.
We always want to ask ourselves what? Can we
Reduce.
reduce?
No.
We cannot.
Final answer?
Is that your final answer?
39, 64.
Yes, no?
Okay.
Of inches? Alright. CAT smart. Alright, so let's look at the next one. 4 divided by 3 and 2/4. What do I do?
3 times 4.
3 times 4 is?
12.
3 times 4 is 12. But what do we do with that first number?
Plus 2. Nothing.
That
Put
4,
over
whole
1.
number? Yep, whole numbers go over 1. 3 times 4, you said, is 12.
Plus 2. 14. Over 4.
Inch marks. Now what?
41 times 414.
Yep, 4 over. Rewrite the first numeric expression, turn it to a multiplication problem, and reciprocate, put the second numeric expression. So can we cross reduce? 1 and 4 we know we can't. What about 4 and 14? Is there a number that can go on to 4 and 14 evenly?
No. Well, yeah.
2
2
times 7 is 14.
17.
2 times 2 is 4. Can't cross reduce anymore. So we take the numerator times the numerator. 2 times 4 is 8. Denominator times denominator. And now we have a improper fraction. If you don't cross reduce, it's no big deal. You just got bigger numbers that you're dealing with. You can take the 4 times 4 to give you 16 over 14. You reduce it to its lowest terms, you get the same answer. So 8 over 7 equals, let me stay consistent. 7 goes into 8.
1 time.
If we take 7 from that, we're left with
1.
So now, improper fractions is going to give you a whole number of what?
Inches.
Inches. So how many inches do we have? 1 and
1, 7. Inch.
Inches. Measurement divided by a number is a measurement. So that final answer is 1 and 1/7 inches. Next one.
2 feet.
What do we do with it?
Converted to inches.
Convert it to inches. 2 times 12 gave us
24.
24.
Plus
What do-
1.
Drop that 1/4 of an inch. We already had an inch. We added 24 inches to it. So now we have 25 1/4 inches. So now we turn this mixed number to a improper fraction. Let's go here first. So we got 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1, 21 over 4. We dealt with that mixed number. We need to come back to this first numeric expression. We had 25 1/4. We need to turn that to an improper fraction. 25 times 4?
100.
100 plus 1 over.
1.
Don't do that one.
No.
Don't make that mistake.
4.
1 over 1 over 4. Mixed number. Denominator stays the same. And now we
Time 4, 21.
inch marks go there. Alright, so now, can I cross reduce?
No.
No? You don't have to. But can you? Yeah. Let's start here.
4 1 6 7 1 time. 1.
Can you cross reduce anything else?
Nope.
Alright.
9,
So now we multiply numerator times the numerator.
1 times 1 is only 1 on 1 times 1. 1 on 1. 21. Improper.
Improper fraction. How many times can 21 go into 101? 21, can it go into 10?
No.
Can it go into 101? Of course it can.
Yeah.
How many times?
5. No, 4.
So you're telling me it can go in there 4 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 4 times 21 is
84. And then that'd be 16. No, 17.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now what?
4 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Improper fraction is a fraction of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a whole number out of here, that whole number is going to represent what?
All inch.
Inches. So
4 inches. And 17/21 of an inch.
always ask yourself what?
Can it be reduced?
Can you reduce?
No.
So, next 4-piece, we got number 21. We are still dealing with measurements divided by numbers, or a number divided by a measurement. Again, it's going to equal a measurement. So we have 5 1/4 divided by 4 feet. What do we need to do with that 5 1/4? Because there's a fraction on one side, we have to do what with the other side? We got to have
Mix.
a fraction, right? So we take this mixed number, turn it to a
Fraction.
how?
5 times.
Don't be acting shy now. So 5 times 4 is
20
5 times 4 is 20, and what do we do with that 20?
plus the 1.
Plus the 1 is,
21
what do we do with that 21?
over 4.
21 over 4. So now we need to deal with this 4 feet. What do we do with the feet?
Converted to inches.
Convert it to inches. Convert it to inches. So 4 times 12 is
48.
48. What do we do with whole numbers? Turn it into an improper fraction.
Put 1 over it.
Put it over 1. Yep. So now we have 2 fractions, 2 improper fractions actually. So now, next step, we have to do what?
Reciprocate.
We reciprocate, but the first thing we reciprocate what number though?
48.
Which numeric? Yep, the second numeric expression. So we rewrite the first numeric expression. It turns to a
Times.
multiplication problem, and then we reciprocate the second numeric expression. Bam. So now, next step, can we cross reduce?
Mm-hmm.
We can?
No. Not really. The 48 and 21.
What can we use to cross reduce?
None.
No?
No.
You don't have to if you don't want to. You don't want to?
No.
I would like to. You don't have to cross reduce, but we will cross reduce. What number can go into 21 and 48 even? Well, look, what number can go into 21?
7.
7? Can 7 go into 48 evenly?
Mm-hmm. No.
Nope. What's another number that can go into 21? 7 times what give you 21?
7.
3.
3.
So 3 can go into 21. Can 3 go into 48?
No. Not even.
It can. So 3 can go into 48. 3 goes into 4 how many times?
16.
Yep, 16 times. 3 goes into 48 16 times. And 3 goes into 21 7 times. So we cross reduce. We can't cross reduce anymore. Can't reduce 7/16. You can't reduce a quarter anymore. So now we multiply numerator times numerator. 7 times 1 is
7.
denominator times denominator. 16 times 4 is
64.
64. Always ask, can you reduce? Can you reduce that? Is that your final answer?
Fine. No. Inches.
Inches. If you do not put your inch marks, your final answer is going to be wrong. So the final answer is 7/64 inches. Good job. Let's look at number 22. We got 63/64 divided by 10.5 inches. What do we need to do with that first fraction?
Nothing.
That first numeric expression, we don't need to do anything with it other than rewrite it. We got a mixed number. What do we do with mixed numbers?
10 times 2.
Turn them into improper fractions. So 10 times 2 is? Plus 1 is? So 21 over 2. Denominator stays the same. When we're dealing with mixed numbers and turning them into improper fractions, they do not go over 1. Denominator stays the same. What's the next step? Turn it to multiplication, but we first start by rewriting the first numeric expression. We turn it into a multiplication problem like you said, and what do we do with that second numeric expression? Reciprocate it. We got to flip it. So now we have 2 over 21. My inch marks. Can we cross reduce? Is there a number that can go on a 2 and 64 evenly? Yep. What? 2. 2 goes into itself 1 time, and if we take 64 and split it in half, we got 32. Can we cross reduce anymore?
No.
Nope. What about 63 and 21? We don't have to, but we are. Right? So 21 goes into itself 1 time, and it goes into 63 3 times. So we can't cross reduce anymore. So now we have 3 and 1, or 1 and 32. So now we multiply numerator times numerator. 3 times 1 is 3. And then 32 times 1 is 32. Always ask, can you reduce? Can you reduce 3 30-seconds? Final answer?
32 inches.
Yes, sir. If you don't put the inch marks, it's going to be wrong. And that is our final answer. Good job. Let's look at number 23. We got 5 feet. Whole numbers. All right, so there are shortcuts just like in the beginning. We switching gears to whole numbers. So 23, we have 5 feet divided by 32. What do we need to do?
Feet to inches.
We have to convert feet to inches. Why? Because we're saying 32, 5 feet divided by 32. So this is what this says. But 32 can't go on a 5.
No.
So we have to convert feet to inches. So you're right. So we got to convert feet to inches. How do we convert feet to inches?
5 times 2.
5 times what?
12.
5 times 12 is?
60.
Now we got 60 inches divided by 32. So now we took the feet converted to inches. So now instead of it saying 5 divided by 32, meaning 5 feet, we converted that to inches. So now we're saying, how many times can 32 go into 60? Goes in there 1 time. If we take 32 from 60, we're left with 32 can't go on a 28. So now how would I rewrite this?
1, 28, 32.
1 what?
1 feet.
Really?
No, 1 inch.
1 inch. Why?
Because we're dealing with inches.
Yeah, we converted it to inches. We had feet initially. We had to convert to inches. So guess what? It's still inches. So we have 1, and you said 28 30-seconds of an inch. Always ask, can you?
Reduce.
Can you?
Nope.
Even numbers.
Even.
So we can reduce 28 30-seconds. What are we going to use? When in doubt, if you got 2 even numbers, what can you use?
2.
2. So if you take 28 and cut it in half, what do you have?
14.
So now you're telling me I have 1 and 14. If you take 32 and cut it in half, you got what?
16.
Can you reduce that?
No.
2 even numbers. So now We cut this 14 in half, we left with.
7,
If we cut 16 in half, we left with.
8.
No. Don't forget those inch marks. And that's your final answer. Camera still rolling? Alright, look at number 24. We have 18 feet divided by 6. So, yes, there are shortcuts, but I'm not going to show you anything shorter than what we're doing because I don't want to confuse anybody. So, we got 18 divided by 6. What do we do with feet? We convert it to inches. Alright? So, 18 times 12. 18 feet times 12. 18 feet times 12. 18 times 12 is... Right? 18 times 12 give you 216 inches. You take that 216, you convert it to feet to inches. We're just dealing with whole numbers divided by 6. So we're going to treat it just like a division problem. We're not going to turn anything into improper fractions.
36.
So we got 6 goes into 218. 6 goes into 21.
18. 3.
And you said 6 goes into 38.
36 now. 36. 2 left over.
This 36 represents what?
Inches.
Inches. So now you're telling me I have 36
2.
and 2,
6.
2 6 inches. Final answer?
Yep.
If you say yes, your answer is going to be wrong. If you're saying yes, it's wrong. Why is it wrong though?
If you got to turn feet, inches to feet.
Because you got to turn inches to feet, and what else is wrong with that?
It can be reduced.
It can be reduced. So how many feet can we get out of 36 inches?
36
We divide that by 12. 12 goes into 36.
3.
3 times. If we take 36 from that, we're left with
0.
0 inches. So now our final answer is
3.
3 feet. What do we do with that 2 6?
Gotta reduce it.
2.
Go on itself one time, and then go on 3, so it's 26 and a third.
So we got 3 feet,
and a third,
1/3.
third of an inch. Final answer.
Final answer.